Welcome to this 7-week graduate course that's titled Missiology and Contextualization. Not too long ago, I was talking with a pastor of a church in Michigan who had been a student in this course not too long ago. And he was telling me that this course he felt was the most valuable one that he had had in his graduate program at NNU. Now, I don't think that'd be true for everybody, but at least it was for him. And I hope you'll find some valuable things in it for the ministry that's going to lie ahead of you. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Howard Culbertson. For 25 years, I was professor of missions at Southern Nazarene University. Still do a lot of teaching online of missions courses for 3 Nazarene universities. And, prior to that, however, my wife and I were missionaries for the Church of the Nazarene, expatriate missionaries. We were 10 years in Italy and then 5 years in Haiti in the Caribbean. And then while at Southern Nazarene University, I was heavily involved with some of our short-term mission work that students were doing overseas. I had a chance to spend a couple of sabbatical times in Ecuador, some significant times there for 4 months each time. And through the university, I've been involved with helping start the work of the Church of the Nazarene in the countries of Bulgaria and Croatia. Well, let's talk a little bit about these 7 weeks we're going to spend together. During these 7 weeks, we're going to take a look at, each week will have kind of a major topic. We're going to take a look at some major themes and topics. The first one we'll look at will be that of the biblical foundations. Where in the Bible can we find justification for an emphasis on being involved, on every believer and every local church being involved in some way in fulfilling the Great Commission all the way to the ends of the earth. So the first week, biblical foundations. Then we'll take a look at the history of the worldwide expansion of the church. We'll start back very early with the apostles, work our way up through the years as the gospel expanded up into northern Europe, and then eventually all the way to the ends of the earth in the last 200 to 300 years. Then we'll take a week in which we'll look at culture and all that involves for the expansion of the church around the world, the implications of understanding culture and how that can help and or hinder the outreach of the church. We'll take a look at the current situation in terms of the Great Commission fulfillment. Where are we in terms of fulfilling the command that we were to make disciples in all nations? We'll take a look at some case studies, how the gospel has taken root in some various cultures. We will take a look at some of the current strategies and perhaps some trends that are out there in the future in front of us. And then of course, is going to kind of close with a case study look at what one denomination, in this case, the Church of the Nazarene, has done and is doing for the cause of world evangelism. And the workload in each of the 7 weeks will be about the same. You'll have some material to read from the textbook. You'll have a project to do. You'll have some response posts that will create a conversation. Let's think about the textbook a little bit. This particular textbook is a compilation of a lot of what we might call original sources. I know sometimes in undergraduate work, students always want to get the latest book, the one with the most recent copyright. And as we move into graduate work, sometimes we need to take a look at some primary sources, not just the secondary sources of what someone has said about a person who lived years ago and was a key figure, but we need to read what that person who lived years ago actually said. So we're going to take a look at some writings by missionaries who lived in the early 1800s. We're going to take a look at some who lived in the early 1900s, people whose work was perhaps a key pivotal point in the advance of the church around the world. So you'll be looking at, as graduate students should do, at some original sources in this course. So don't get caught up, as once in a while a student with saying, that's all in the past. I don't want to read anything about that. I want to read something that's published yesterday. I hope you'll, as a good graduate student, you will come to enjoy looking at these original sources. So you'll have some textbook stuff to read each week. And then each week, there will be a different special project. The first one is to come up with 2 sermon ideas. And then the second week, we'll be looking at what would be a good story from the history of world evangelism to use in a sermon? It's not a sermon project, but what would be a good story out of missions history that could work into a sermon? Then there will be a project to look at a tool that has been used by the Church of the Nazarene and other mission organizations. That is a book, small books that are stories about missionaries or about revival movements or about something in other parts of the world. We'll take a look at that and kind of evaluate that. You will take a look at what one particular local church, perhaps your local church, is doing for the cause of world evangelism. Not what it's doing locally. The local outreach, as important as that is. But this course is kind of focused on how that local church is fulfilling its responsibility to reach the ends of the earth. Then you'll have a chance to try to get somebody on board, kind of a one-on-one mobilization of a person. And this is something, of course, that leaders have to do all the time. Pastors have to do all the time. We have to in one-on-one conversations. We're involved in discipleship. We're involved in trying to get somebody on board with something. So it's kind of a practice of doing that kind of thing that good leaders will do in all areas of the local church. Well, you'll have a chance to interview somebody who has actually had significant cross-cultural missionary service. So there'll be a project every week. And then, of course, there's the requirement that is kind of common to online courses, and that is that you be present in some way here in Canvas during 5 days out of each 7. And finally, during the week, each week you're going to be required to write at least 6 substantive response posts to what other students have written or what I've written. This is the way that we're going to carry on a conversation about topics in the class. It's a way that we will create a classroom so that this course is not simply a correspondence course that's delivered via the internet. Well, it's going to be a great 7 weeks. I'm looking forward to getting to know you. In the first week, you'll submit an autobiography, and I'll get to know a little bit about you. And then our conversations back and forth. And I'll be praying for you as well during these 7 weeks that this will be a beneficial time, not only for you intellectually, but spiritually as well. Well, it's time to get started. Let's get rolling.